All right, what up, though, beautiful people? It is your boy, JB Ricks, a.k.a. The Ricks Review, here for another edition of the Ricks Review podcast. And as you see, I've got my partner in crime.
Everybody?
What's going on? The junior intern in the building. Yes, we are going to kick off his segment once again for the second time this week. The Put On a Show. The Put On a Show segment by the junior intern. That is why he is joining me on this week's program. And obviously, we are through 2 weeks of the college football season, and we are through our first week of the NFL season. Man, I cannot believe football is back, and everybody is so hyped, so excited to have football back on every weekend or whatever, and obviously very much excitement, a lot of excitement going on around this area. You got Detroit, you got the Lions, you got the Wolverines, you got the Spartans, you got all types of teams, your local team, whether it may be a team from the MAC, Eastern, Central. Everybody is back in play, back in effect, man, and we are definitely here to talk about what's happened so far through the first 2 weeks of college football and obviously through the first week of the NFL. So, Junior, you ready to do this, man?
Yep.
You happy for the fall to be back here, football going back and all that?
Yep.
And you got school, too, man. How you doing in school so far?
Pretty good, yeah.
Pretty good?
Yep.
All right, well, that's number one. That's first and foremost. But the intern is here to get his work done here on the podcast. So we're going to start off talking about the Lions. And you watched the Lions game just like I did. So we definitely have plenty of notes to discuss when it comes to the Lions suffering a season-opening loss to the Green Bay Packers. 27-13 was the final. The Packers pretty much dominated the line of scrimmage in this one. They came out from the very beginning and just had that extra gear that they needed to beat their rival within the NFC North. Of course, the Lions coming in as two-time defending division champs, and the Packers, they acquired Micah Parsons not too long ago in a blockbuster trade with the Dallas Cowboys, and that has definitely made them one of the top contenders, not only in the division, but in the NFC. When you bring over one of the best players in all of football on the defensive side of the ball onto your squad, when you're already potent on offense and you've already got a great system in place, the Packers are definitely going to be a team to be reckoned with, not only in the division, but in the NFC, and they showed that in their season-opening victory over the Lions, 27-13. Micah Parsons did finish with one sack, and that definitely, got the Green Bay Packer cheeseheads going crazy, so they were definitely all into that. I was really disappointed in the lack of dominance that we showed on the offensive line, in the trenches, on the offensive and defensive line, both sides of the ball in the trenches. We did not get it done. The David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs only combined for 44 total rushing yards, and that's definitely not going to get it done right there, Junior. We got to be able to run the ball. We got to be able to provide that balance for Jared Goff, for Amon-Ra St. Brown, for Jameson Williams, who also just signed that 3-year extension, so obviously he is going to be here for the long haul. Huge expectations for this offense, even though with the loss of Ben Johnson and those expectations were not met. Johnson obviously moving on to the Chicago Bears to become their head coach, and we'll be seeing him within the next week because that will be the Lions' next opponent when they face the Bears next Sunday. So off to a bad start for the Lions, 0-1 on the season, and yes, that is a division loss to the Packers. The Packers and the Minnesota Vikings both earned victories in their season-opening games. Vikings over the Bears, Packers over the Lions. So right now they have the one up on us moving forward. We got to figure out who our next opponent is. And as I just mentioned, it's going to be the Chicago Bears, who are coming to Ford Field for the Lions season opener. And that will be their first game at Ford Field in front of the home crowd. So this will be a wonderful opportunity to bounce back from that loss, get things back right. Even with the losses of the coordinators, the Lions still have a very stout team, and they are still expected to contend even with that first loss. But it's just one game, folks. No need for us to go crazy. No need for us to worry. Now, there was one bright spot in that game, even though the offense did not get it done at the line of scrimmage. The rushing game was just non-existent in this one. But the lone touchdown came from a particular rookie. Who was that rookie there, Junior?
Isaac Tesla.
Isaac Tesla. Now, you remember the catch, right? It was a pretty nice catch, right?
Yep.
Do you remember how he caught it? One-handed.
One-handed.
He caught it one-handed and got both of his feet down. They had to do a review and everything. But Isaac Tesla looking good as a rookie off that touchdown catch. And I remember when the Lions released Tim Patrick, I was kind of disappointed because I thought he was a solid number 3 receiver in that offense to supplement Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown. but they decided to trade him, just before the season began, and now I see why. The Lions are very high on this third-round rookie, Isaac Tesla, who made a phenomenal catch to get that lone touchdown. That was Jared Goff's lone touchdown as well. So that's a bright spot that the Lions can take from that game. The lone bright spot they can that they can take, because it was their lone touchdown in that game. So my man, Junior Intern, was all over it. Isaac Tesla did have that lone bright spot, but now we got to move forward to the Bears. And Junior, here's where you come in. I'm calling out the Lions' offensive line, allowing Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery to only combine for 44 yards. That's not going to get it done. We have to control the line of scrimmage, and we have to have balance within that offense. So when it comes to the Lions game against the Bears this Sunday, Lions offensive line, I need you to
put on a show.
Put on a show, Lions offensive line. Y'all got to bounce back from that abysmal performance in Green Bay. You're at home. You're going to have the home crowd. You guys are going to have the energy. You guys are going to want to redeem yourselves from that season opening loss, and it all starts up front. So the Lions offensive line, we need y'all to
put on a show.
Put on a show this Sunday against the Bears. So we're going to be calling you. We're calling you out right now, and we're going to have our eyes on you firmly for this Sunday's game against the Bears. All right, let's move down to the college gridiron now. We also had big games taking place this past weekend, Michigan and Michigan State, both in action, and we will begin with the Wolverines, who suffered their first loss of the season at Oklahoma. A huge primetime game, two blue blood college football programs in Oklahoma and Michigan meeting up. Michigan rarely ever goes to Bedlam. They never go to Norman, Oklahoma, and this was just a sight to see for this game. But when it was all said and done, it was Oklahoma who came out with the Boomer Sooner, running away with a 24-13 victory over Michigan. The Wolverines just couldn't get much going on the offensive side of the ball. Bryce Underwood, the 7'3" phenom, freshman quarterback for the Wolverines. He was 9 of 24, 142 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions, but both the stat of no interceptions is huge, but the zero touchdowns, that's not going to get it done. He only had one rushing yard, too, so we didn't see the dynamic running ability of Bryce Underwood as well, and maybe that is something that is by design right now. They don't want him out here possibly risking himself to get injury or whatever, but I can tell you right now, man, that kid is talented when it comes to running the ball, too, man, so they're going to have to figure something out as far as getting more balance out of this phenom freshman quarterback in Bryce Underwood, man. We've seen what this kid can do. He had an NFL body as his senior year, you know what I mean, in high school or whatnot. So if they're afraid about, holding him back and refraining from him getting injuries or whatnot, man, he's a big kid. He's a big boy. I think he can handle himself. So more RPOs. I'm surprised that we're not seeing more RPOs when you have a quarterback like that. But Bryce Underwood, we definitely got to get the accuracy going. Once he gets his accuracy that on that Division I level, the kid is going to be very, very scary at that position.
And flashback, we did see him one time before he joined the Wolverines. It was the Bills game in Belleville.
Belleville, yeah. When he was in high school, it was Howell. The Howell game, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the Howell game.
Howell game, man. One of the best high school games we ever saw, man. That was back and forth down to the wire.
And I did some kind of podcast thingy.
You did the
and
report.
I talked about the game.
You did a report on that game. Exactly. That was a big deal for us right there. But now Bryce is on the college level. Now we need to see what he was doing on the high school level, on the college level. But it's going to take time. We're going to be patient. Only a second game on the collegiate level. He will get better. One bright spot I saw from Michigan's offense that night, though, was this Justice Haynes guy. The running back, the transfer running back from Alabama, man. He's been impressive in his first two games. He ran for over 120 yards against Oklahoma in that loss. He is averaging 8.1 yards per carry right now through two games. So that is a huge bright spot, not only for Bryce Underwood, but the entire Michigan offense. If you could have a rushing attack like that, and they love the ground and pound over in Ann Arbor. But what they need to do is continue to supplement Bryce and put him in a position to succeed. 9 of 24, obviously, those are not efficient numbers at all, but at least he didn't turn it over. But if you got a great running back like Justice Haynes in your backfield, as you do right now, averaging more than 8 yards a pop, that is going to be a positive sign. So with the Wolverines suffering their first loss of the season, now they get ready to return home for their second game at the Big House, and this week they will have Central Michigan coming in for their second home game of the season. And the big storyline going into this one is that the head coach, Sharon Moore, is going to begin his 2-game suspension. So he will be out for this game against CMU, and that means it's going to be Biff Poggi in as the interim head coach. He will be leading the Wolverines over the next 2 games, beginning with Central Michigan this weekend. So with that said right there, Junior, I'm going to need Biff Poggi, who is a former assistant with Michigan. He went down to Charlotte and led their program for a few years. That didn't work out, and now obviously, as you see, he's back in Michigan, and he's already being thrust into an interim role in his first season back with Michigan. So with that said, Biff Poggi, you're stepping up to the interim plate. You're stepping up to the interim position for the next couple of weeks. What do we need him to do, Junior?
Put on a show.
You better put on a show. Biff Poggi coming in and leading this program that came in nationally ranked. You got the #1 high school player at your quarterback position. You got 4- and 5-star players all over that roster. Central Michigan, you might want to take care of business. You don't want to give anybody any fodder to talk about or whatever. Central Michigan, take care of your business. Handle it. Defense should have a stout game. Offense should go up and down the field, and I'm expecting Bryce Underwood to have his best, his most efficient game as a collegiate quarterback. But Biff Poggi, I'm putting it all on you. And because of that, Junior, what does he need to do?
Put on a show.
Put on a show, Biff Poggi. All right, let's go ahead and move on to my Sparties, baby. Our Sparties, my bad, who did come away with the victory this past weekend in what ended up being a thriller, a classic thriller, double overtime, 42-40 victory over Boston College at Spartan Stadium. And I'm going to tell you this right now, man, that game was phenomenal from beginning to end. It was just great football from both sides of the ball. Michigan State and Boston College just playing good, efficient football, rarely any turnovers, offenses, getting in on the mix. The defenses made their staple on this game, and special teams was also a huge factor in this game, and that's why it went down to the wire, and it needed 2 extra overtimes. This was a great game from both sides. I definitely wanted to put that on record to let Michigan State and Boston College know that I have gratitude for that phenomenal game you put on display for the country on Saturday night. So that was a great game, but in the end, we're going to talk about our Sparties, and I told y'all about this Aiden Chiles kid. I've been talking about him since last year. I saw him when he came in his first year leading the Michigan State program. Phenomenal talent. Talented all over the place when it comes to this kid. He just needed to grow up. He just needed to learn how to protect the ball, stop turning the ball over or whatever, and Michigan State can really cause some disruption in the Big Ten if he does that. If he continues to grow and continues to get better and not turn the ball over and take care of it, he's going to have this team in position to win even the big-time games coming up on the schedule. As far as this one, Aidan finished 19-29, 231 yards, 4 tutties, y'all. 4 tutties for Aiden Chiles, 0 interceptions. And for that right there, let's drop a quick little green, go green!
Go white!
On Aiden Chiles right there, handling this business with those beautiful numbers right there. And because of those great numbers and because of him leading Michigan State to that victory over Boston College, he did earn co-offensive player of the week within the Big Ten this week. So shout out to our quarterback, Aiden Chiles, with a great game against Boston College, and he showed his full potential and how talented this kid is really going to be. And when he takes care of that ball, he's going to be one of the top quarterbacks in the entire conference. Yeah, I said it. Book it, mark it, put it in your file. It's there. I'm saying right now, Aiden Chiles is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the Big Ten as long as he continues to take care of the ball. He's got a stout #1 receiver who has come over in the transfer portal from Nick Marsh, and he has been out here calling for the ball in those clutch moments, and I like seeing that out of a player this early in the season, letting them know, I want to step up to the plate, and I want to be that guy we go to when we really need a big catch or we really need a big touchdown. So that's what we're looking for out here, right, Junior?
Yep.
All right, and on the defensive side of the ball, there was another bright spot for the Spartans, Jordan Hall. Oh, he was all over the field in this game, man. Shout out to Jordan Hall, who came away with the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week. He had 15 tackles in that game, but I was just impressed with his versatility, his speed, and his ability to be all over the field in that game, and that's why he led the way with 15 tackles, and he came away with the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week honor. The rushing attack had nearly 150 yards, so you add that in with what Aiden Chiles is able to do with his 231 yards and four touchdowns. That spells balance right there, man. Balance is the name of the game. And when it comes to Michigan State and what they put on display this past Saturday, I'm very sure that Jonathan Smith was very proud of the performance that his boys put out, especially coming away with maybe his first key signature win as the head coach at Michigan State. That was a big win, double overtime, primetime stage or whatnot, early in the season, and you're 2-0. You're 2-0 now, and now you have the chance to move on to your next game, where it will be at USC. So when it comes to that game at USC, now here's the problem with Michigan State. They struggled on the road last year. They only won one road game last year. And that is something that is going to be a bit of a concern for me going into this year. But before we get into that road game at USC, they will have one more cupcake game. Youngstown State is actually coming into town to East Lansing this Saturday at 3:30. So, you know what? I just want to see them not bounce back, but show that this was no fluke. Obviously, against Youngstown State, you're bringing in a team that is not on the same level of you, so that means you got to do the same thing that Michigan needs to do against Central Michigan. Take care of your business. I want to see domination on both sides of the ball. So I want to see how this team responds after a huge win with everybody patting you on your back and saying how great you guys looked, and you got your players getting all these accolades and stuff like that or whatever, you know what I mean? Everybody's saying how great you are. Let's make sure y'all back that up with a dominating victory against Youngstown State at Spartan Stadium this Saturday. So, Junior, I'm calling out the whole team on this one. Michigan State Spartans, after a big win, everybody patting you on your back, you're back home to take on Youngstown State. You know what I need you to do? Tell them, Junior.
Put on a show.
Put on a show, Michigan State. You got Youngstown State coming in, man. I want to see a dominating victory, man. Give me something like 38-0. I want the shutout. We should have got the shutout in that first game, but we threw a pick six in garbage time or whatnot. Now we have an opportunity to get another shutout. So I'm calling out the entire team, but the defense, I definitely want a shutout from you. So the Michigan State defense, Junior, what do they need to do?
Put on a show.
Michigan State team as a whole, Junior, what do they need to do?
Put on a show.
Put on a show. That's what we're going to be expecting as we enter into the third week of the college football season. Lions, you go into your second week of the NFL season with the home game against the Bears. You don't got no choice but to put on a show either. But definitely, let's go through it one more time. The Lions offensive line, what do they need to do?
Put on a show.
And when it comes to Biff Poggi over in Ann Arbor, what does he need to do?
Put on a show.
And when it comes to the Michigan State defense, what do they need to do?
Put on a show.
And when it comes on to the entire Michigan State team, what do they need to do, Junior?
Put on a show.
Put on a show. You heard it from the junior intern. You heard it from your boy, JB Ricks, a.k.a. The Ricks Review, here with another podcast, wrapping up the first couple of weeks of the football season and getting you ready for the one that is upcoming while having the junior intern here join me to let y'all know who needs to put on a show. So that is going to be all for this week's edition of the Ricks Review podcast. We'll be back next week to recap the games from this week and prep you for next week's game as well. And I might even have a special guest for you next week as well. So definitely stay tuned for that. But for now, it's the junior intern. It's your boy, JB Ricks. Food, folks, fun right here for the Ricks Review podcast. We will see you again in another week. Until then, peace.